Welcome to The Explainer. You know, it seems like every time peace talks stall, the headlines start teasing the possibility of military options. But today, we're doing something a little different. We're taking an entirely objective, highly detailed look at what that phrase actually means. We're going to break down the tactical blueprint for a highly theoretical, yet heavily analyzed, smash-and-grab raid to seize Iran's enriched uranium. By digging into the logistics, the intelligence, and the history, we're going to see the truly staggering complexity of a mission of this magnitude. Okay, let's dive into this. Because the backdrop here is a deeply deadlocked negotiation over Iran's nuclear ambitions. If a ceasefire just buys time rather than buying actual peace, what are the actionable alternatives? Well, according to defense analysts and open-source intelligence, military planners are reportedly drafting a short, powerful course of action designed to essentially force negotiations. But we really have to ask, what does a short, powerful option actually look like in military reality, especially when your target is buried deep underground? Section 1, the geopolitical standoff.
See, an operation of this magnitude doesn't just start with soldiers jumping out of airplanes. It logically begins with a massive, coordinated effort to soften up the country's defenses and neutralize their ability to retaliate. As highlighted by Axios reporting from CENTCOM sources, planners are looking at a short and powerful option package involving a wave of strikes. Long before any boots hit the ground, you have to systematically blind, disarm, and distract the adversary. Take a look at how this wave of strikes will likely unfold across the map. You hit the economic choke points right away. Places like Kharg Island, which literally handles 90% of Iran's crude oil exports, and various blockade-circumventing ports. Then, you absolutely have to neutralize the immediate military threats in the Strait of Hormuz. We're talking about submarine-launched Tomahawk cruise missiles and A-10 Warthogs, those massive flying tanks, aggressively hunting down fast-attack crafts, mine-laying vessels, and wiping out ballistic and anti-shipping missiles just to clear the board.
Section 2, a successful past precedent. Now you might be wondering, has the US ever actually pulled off a mission to just go in and steal another country's enriched uranium? The fascinating answer is, yeah, absolutely. Back in 1994, right after the fall of the Soviet Union, there was this covert mission called Project Sapphire. A joint civilian-military team successfully moved 600 kilograms of highly enriched uranium from a plant in eastern Kazakhstan all the way to a national laboratory in Tennessee. To put that into perspective, that's enough material for roughly 20 nuclear bombs. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive divide between theory and reality when we try to apply that history to Iran. Project Sapphire took place in what military planners call a permissive environment. There wasn't an immediate threat from enemy forces. They literally just drove 10 kilometers from an airport to some poorly secured warehouses. Iran, on the other hand, that is a strictly non-permissive environment. The material is guarded by a hostile military, it's locked in heavily fortified underground bunkers, and the nearest functional airstrip is a staggering 40 kilometers away. Because of these enormous inherent complexities, military planners simply can't wing it. They have to build what's called a con-op, or a concept of operations. Basically, this is a rigorous, incredibly precise expression of exactly what the commander intends to accomplish, and step-by-step how every single available asset, from stealth drones to aircraft carriers to infantry, will be perfectly synchronized to get it done.
Section 3. The target, Isfahan.
Geography is absolutely everything in military planning. This specific tactical blueprint zeroes in on the Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center, which sits roughly 450 kilometers east of the Iraqi border. And here are the stakes. Open source intelligence indicates that roughly 440 kilograms of enriched uranium is housed right here. This is the ultimate prize. It's the core issue driving both the geopolitical standoff and this theoretical raid. But acquiring it? Absolute nightmare. See, this exact facility was previously targeted during Operation Midnight Hammer. In that op, B-2 stealth bombers flew in and dropped massive ordnance penetrators, which are these 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs, directly onto the site. This means that those 440 kilograms of uranium aren't just underground, they are potentially buried under tons and tons of massive bomb rubble. There's quite literally no easy way in, and for sure, no easy way out.
Adding to the logistical headache is the terrain itself. The distance between the Isfahan facility and the nearest proven airstrip is a grueling 40 kilometers, right across a really harsh, mountainous ridgeline. And that airstrip comes with its own dark history. 2 US C-130 transport planes were previously destroyed there. Whether they sank into the soft ground, got hit by incoming fire, or had to be scuttled by the US to prevent capture, The reality stands, this is an incredibly dangerous piece of real estate.
Section 4. Preparing the battle space. So the crucial point is, how does the military actually secure that 40-kilometer death trap before landing?
You absolutely cannot send special forces into a blind valley. This brings us to a critical phase called IPB, or Intelligence Preparation of the Battle Space. A massive intelligence team has to meticulously scour that entire 40-kilometer box on the map. They are hunting for imminent threats, meaning they have to identify every single surface-to-air missile system and every shoulder-launched missile, known as manpads, hidden across that vast, totally inhospitable terrain. Let's move to and see how this builds, because it unfolds as a highly sequential operation. First step, aerial reconnaissance. You have MQ-9 Reapers and RQ-170 stealth drones establishing a pattern of life and gathering crucial imagery. Second, you feed that intel straight to the strike packages, like F-15s carrying heavy payloads, to soften up the localized defenses. And third, carrier-based F-18 Growlers sweep in to provide continuous suppression of enemy air defense. They're up there, blinding radar and neutralizing anti-aircraft threats to protect the main force.
Section 5. Boots on the ground. Now, despite all that incredible air power, seizing 440 kilograms of uranium buried in a bunker absolutely demands putting physical boots on the ground. The infiltration relies on a highly specialized coalition. They wouldn't use massive, slow planes. They'd use agile C-17 and C-130 transport aircraft to infill the teams. You'd have Navy SEALs and Delta Force executing the actual assault and seizure of the Isfahan facility. The 160th Night Stalkers, the elite Special Ops Aviation Regiment, would handle the helicopter assaults. Meanwhile, the 82nd Airborne is deployed purely for force protection, totally locking down the perimeter against Iranian counterattacks. Section 6. A months-long extraction. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that capturing the facility is actually just the beginning of the real work. The assault itself, that's the fast part. The extraction is where the timeline completely unravels. The post-assault logistics are just staggering. They literally have to sling-load heavy bulldozers from helicopters and fly them directly into a war zone just to dig through the collapsed, bombed-out tunnels. Meanwhile, the nuclear emergency support team has to deploy underground just to figure out exactly where the surviving uranium even is amid all that wreckage. And we can't forget the secondary objective here. While the engineers are desperately digging through the rubble, combat troops have to spend precious time hunting down and systematically destroying the thousands of underground centrifuges that actually allow Iran to enrich uranium in the first place. That requires highly tense, dangerous, tunnel-by-tunnel clearing. When you put all of this together, the timeline shifts drastically. Remember Operation Sapphire? Even in a friendly, permissive environment with no immediate danger, it still took them 4 weeks to extract the uranium. Doing this at the Iranian facility, digging out a bombed bunker, destroying centrifuges, and fending off counterattacks in a deeply non-permissive environment, that changes a rapid smash and grab into a massive, prolonged occupation lasting weeks, if not months. Which leaves us with a really vital question to ponder. In a highly hostile environment, can any military truly afford the extreme risk, the cost in lives, and the vast resources required to hold a heavily fortified, bombed-out crater for months, all for 440 kilograms of uranium? It's a massive logistical tightrope,